Dublin, what we doing?
How many students will be able to multiply decimals?
So far we've added, subtracted, divided, and now we've multiplied decimals. That is the 4 operations that we need to launch into 7th grade math. When you multiply decimals, there's 2 terms we're going to be using. A term, 2 definitions. The first one is a term. It's just a number that you multiply to get to a product. So an example could be 2 times 4. My terms are 2 and 4. You would just say one term would be 2, one term would be 4. That is a part of the problem. A product is a fancy math word that's just the answer to something you multiply. Say product on 2, 1, 2. Product is just the what to a multiplication problem? The answer. So when you talk about the answer, you could also say the product of 2 times 4 is 8. Not just 2 times 4 is 8. Some fancy math terms that make you look pretty cool and mathematically. Here's 3 steps for how we multiply, and then I have a little phrase to help us at the very end. Ignore the decimals and multiply like they're a normal number. When we add and subtract decimals, we always start by building a what?
A snowman.
Snowman. So when we multiply, we don't do that. When you multiply, you always set it up so that the digits that are the most are on top. 9.23 has 3 numbers in it. 4.5 has 2, so I'm always setting up that number with the largest amount of digits on the top. At the start, we're going to ignore the decimals, and we're going to set this up as a 3 by 2 digit multiplication. And just pretend like the decimals aren't there. In the product, once I get the answer, then we start using a jingle, which I'll introduce you to in a minute. You're going to slide the decimal, the total number of places in each of the terms. And you're thinking in your head, to the left, to the left. Few people are maybe having a hunch of what the jingle could be. Yeah, okay, cool. It is a review from 5th and 6th grade. We're going to dust off some of that stuff that may be in the way of your memory and get pretty fluent today. Now that you have it set up correctly, I'm just going to think 923 times 4, 5, and ignore the decimals for now. Start with the 5. 5 times 3 is?
15.
5 times 2?
10.
Plus 1?
11.
Silent hand on this one. What's 5 times 9? Dublin?
45.
Good. Plus 1?
46.
Okay. If we're not quite fluent with multiplication, you'll see why I need you to be fluent in 7th grade, because this stuff is like 8 to 10 multiplication facts in one problem at times. Let's move over to the 4. Since you slid over 1 digit, you're going to add 1 0. I went from the 5 to the 4, I add a 0 here. 4 times 3 is what, whole class?
12.
Okay. 4 times 2?
8.
Plus 1.
9.
All right, silent hand on this one. What's 4 times 9? Ashton? Good. Okay. You've multiplied. I'm ignoring the decimals for now. Now I add them up. Make sure that you're writing neatly and precisely so you see the columns clearly. In like 3rd or 4th grade, they had you have little grid paper that like organized stuff. In 7th and 8th grade, we're just going to become precise and fluent writing it neatly above each other. 5 plus 0 is 5, 1 plus 2 is 3, 6 plus 9 is 15, 1 plus 4 is 5, plus 6 is 11, 3 plus 1 is 4. Here's the change when you have decimals multiplied. I don't just circle that big giant number. I'm going to look at the digits to the right. In the original problem, I'm going to put my pencil and count how many numbers are to the right. 1, 2, 3. Since there are 3 digits, I'm going to take that decimal, slap it back on the answer, and move it. Which way, whole class?
Left.
Bro. I feel that. You were just waiting for that, weren't you?
I was. And we're done. That will be stuck in your head when you're doing multiplication problems. At the end, you always slide the decimal to the left, everything you own, in a box to the left, and Sean pencil on your own paper. Go to example 2. Example 2, I have 2 digits. Does it matter which one is above the other one in this?
Yes.
Why not, Aiden?
We call multiplication.
And because they're not any bigger than the other digit-wise, I don't have 3 numbers in this and 2 numbers in that. They're both 2, so I can just set it up like this. You don't need to have the 8.7 above the 2.6. If it was 8.71, I would rearrange it. This doesn't need it. Okay, let's start multiplying. Where do you begin for this one, Nathan? What numbers do I multiply first?
6 and 7.
Good. What's 6 times 7?
42.
Okay. 7 times 2 whole class.
14.
Plus 4.
18.
Okay. And go to the 8. Before I can multiply 8 times 6, I add what underneath the 2, Jenica?
0.
Great. Placeholder 0. And we're ready for 8 times 6. Silent hand, 8 times 6 is... Sean?
48.
Okay. It is stuck in your head now. My master plan has come to fruition. 8 times 2 is 16 plus 4 is 20. Okay. Here is the last tricky part with decimals. Once you add those together, 8 plus 8 is 16. 1 plus 1 is 2. 2 plus nothing is 2. I'm going to head to my decimals. How many decimal places should I move to the left, Jenica?
2.
There are 2 digits to the right. So I'm going to move 2 times, which way?
To the left.
Nope, wrong one. Wrong! There we go. Yeah, that's it. 2 to the left. Here we go.
Left to the left.
Nope, too much. You did. Now I have to pause it. Darn it.
If I farted, the police don't come.
Did it say that?
If I farted, the police don't come.
No.
Wait, is that what it said?
I don't think so.
I think it says if I party, please don't come. I don't know.
If I farted, the police don't come.
That is not what it said. Next page, please. All right. In the remaining 20 minutes, you're going to have 2 things you're focusing on. At the last 10 minutes, we're going to pause and finish the homework page I'm assigning to you.